everyone, and welcome to Housewife Sundays. Today is very special because we are going to be doing a Housewife Sunday times serving while being served. I know many of you do not know, but I have a podcast. I am Nurse Monroe, the hostess with the mostest, and today we will be filming our first actual visual for our my podcast. That's my baby that I've literally have 3 years. I'm a little bit nervous, but we're gonna love this and we're gonna enjoy it and we're gonna embrace all of the favor that God put over us, and it's gonna come out awesome. So I had to do this little cadoodle before we actually started filming the live footage. So when we come back, we will be going directly into the next episode of Serving While Being Served. Please make sure that you like, follow, and leave a comment below if you enjoy watching this. And make sure you guys share, and also make sure you join my Instagram family at nurse_Monroe. See you guys, and thank you for tuning in. Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Serving While Being Served. Woo! We're back. I just looked and I just realized that we haven't recorded an episode since January the 1st. You know, the Lord really has been working on me, honey. I've been transitioning, I've been growing, I've been learning, I've been living, I've been just doing. And I do apologize to my Serving While Being Served family that I have not been being consistent. I tell you that consistency is something that you have to ask our Father God to continuously bless you with. And like, I need you to send me that energy, because my baby, things be coming and be having me sidetracked. So before we get into a good word, please send a prayer of consistency up that your girl is going to be consistent. Also, today is our first episode that we will be live filming. I'm currently filming, and it will be available on my YouTube. You will be able to get a Housewife Sunday times Serving While Being Served collabo. So, woo! Hello, everybody out there in YouTube world. So, this is our second episode for season 4. And we're going to just go ahead and get right into the word sower. So the topic that we will be covering is you are never alone. One more time. You are never alone. I really want you to take that topic, that word in, and I really want you to understand that you need to constantly be telling yourself that, because we got a lot of talking to do about the feeling, the moment, identifying yourself as alone, as single, as an individual. Because you're never a single individual. You're never alone. You always have our Father God that's there to guide you. You always have him. He's always there. And the more that you realize that, the better it will be for you to transition into the areas of your life that you need to transition into. The number one reason why we're having this conversation is because I have so many women that, so many of you beautiful little baby dolls out there that are constantly fighting with the spirit of loneliness, of aloneness, of by myself, and fighting with that spirit literally has you in a chokehold, because you're making so many decisions based off the fact that you think that you're alone. And that's why I say it's so important that you establish a relationship with God and that you really put some time into it, because the more you put into it, the more he's going to give you comfort and peace and understanding. And the less likely you are to make these decisions off the simple fact that the flesh is lonely and that you're feeling like you're lacking something, and that you're by yourself and you just need companionship. Because the issue is that the companionship that we're finding is not the companionship that God is sending to us. And I've told you before, whenever you go in front of God, okay, that's normally the wrong decision to make. You normally are going to have some regrets that are going to be leading to that. No, God is not going to just let you go ahead of you and just be like, you know what, go ahead, baby girl, do it on your own, figure it out. No, but trust and believe, you always want to go behind. You always want God to take the lead and he pull you through. You never want to go in front of him and kind of make these decisions on your own, because these decisions tend to be very raggedy. I'm just going to be honest. They tend to not be the best decisions you can make. So like I say, we need to truly understand that we are never alone. You are never truly by yourself. You always have God. If you continue to tell yourself that on a regular basis, you will be less likely to get yourself caught up in these entanglements. I love that word. Entanglements. entanglements that are causing you so much strife mentally, financially, physically, that are causing you to give yourself away inconsistently, that are causing you to block your blessings, that are causing you to push your husband away, because he's out there. I feel that he's out there. But if you giving all your goodies away to everybody else because you feeling lonely, okay, because you're feeling less than, because you need this companionship from some man, this is going to cause us problems. You have to understand that you have to wait on the Lord. That is a word there. Wait on the Lord. Waiting on the Lord is lit. The reason waiting on the Lord is lit, because I notice that when I do not wait on the Lord and I go, like I told you, I go in front of him, I'm normally regretting all of these decisions that I made. And I'm lonely, like normally wishing that I could kind of turn back the hands of times and I would just wait on him. So I would tell you to wait on him. You know, there's so much growing and learning and waiting. I think that we become so impatient. I become so impatient that I don't look at it as a learning lesson, as waiting. I feel like it's a punishment. I'm always going through this battle with God where I'm be like, why am I waiting for so long? Like, what's going on? Like, what did I do? Like, come on, let's get this party started. And God is like, you're the one that's on the time of the earth. I'm not on the time of the earth, baby. I do things on my time. So I don't know why you thinking you about to rush me, but you're not about to rush me. Okay. And then I'm like, well, God, I kind of like want it right now because I feel like, I'm going to be old and I want to do it while I'm young. And he like, baby, There is no old in my world. Okay. There is no rushing. There is no limit on things. It can happen. If you read if there's so many biblical stories where things kind of happen, not based on our worldly clock, based on his worldly clock. We had a couple of people, not a couple. We had a young lady in the Bible, kind of had a baby when she was in her hundreds, and that will really give you the foundation that you just gotta wait on God, and that we are pushing ourselves on time limits that are not realistic and that he doesn't acknowledge. We acknowledge him here on the earth, but he does not acknowledge him. So you have to just keep yourself in a place of peace, because he's a Prince of Peace. So you keep yourself in a place of peace. You pray to him. You ask him to constantly guide you. You ask him to give you understanding, and you ask him to grow, and you ask him to pour into you while you are in this transition. But you don't go out and start looking for people that you need to have around you because you need to feel some physical touch. You need to feel some energy. You just stand still. You got to learn to start standing still. You got to learn to start just kind of waiting. And you got to understand to celebrate in your waiting season, to celebrate and to learn and to grow in that season, and don't look at it as a punishment. We've had this discussion before. A lot of times we look at things as a punishment, but I also want you to understand, and we've talked about this before, that the mouth is a powerful, powerful weapon. The tongue is powerful. So you'll find yourself while you're in this period of waiting saying, I'm alone, I'm by myself. You're talking to your friends, you're talking to your family. Why do I have to be alone? Why am I feeling like this? And realistically, you're putting yourself mentally in a more place of being alone. Instead of you saying that, you should be switching your vocabulary to saying that I'm looking for a partner. I'm looking for who God, is going to pair me up with, but I'm not alone. I have God. We're doing this together. I'm doing it together. Even if you don't want to say this verbally, say this internally to yourself, because it's going to keep you going. I had a discussion on my Instagram live. We do lives on Instagram when when I'm being consistent. I had a discussion, and it was one that made me quite emotional, and a lot of other women, that it's a part of my family, my IG family, emotional, about calling yourself a single mom. That's a no. I really want y'all to stop doing that, because you're not single. You are a mother. You have the Father God. You have God there with you, guiding you. A child is a blessing. Sometimes we do not make the best decisions, and it may lead to us having a child out of wedlock, or us having a spouse that may have evacuated the scene once the baby had, but that does not make you a single mother. I feel like there's so much trauma behind the single mother title. It's so much, just like it's trauma around I'm by myself, I'm lonely. It's so much that comes with that you really don't want. You want to keep yourself in like this really nice, peaceful land of happiness and joy. You want to constantly be speaking life and love into your life. So when you getting into these words, I'm a single mama, normally when you're identifying yourself as a single mother, you're not looking at it as you are, you have a partner or you have God there with you. You're looking at it as I'm single, it's just me and I'm raising these kids. But truly, you are not a single mother. You have God there with you, and what it is that you don't have the partner that God is going to provide for you right now. So don't identify yourself as a single mother. You're a mother. You're a great mother. You have children. You're making it do what it do. You are getting up every day and you are looking at the blessing that he has given you, and you are pouring life and love into it, but you are not a single mother. You are not an individual. This is not the end for you. This is not your final road. This is not the hard stop, and it ain't gonna be no more like stops after this. I think, there's so much taboo around the whole single mother thing. And I've told you before, I am always telling y'all, my best bet is that try to minimize bringing children into the world before you have some type of commitments and some marriage and some things going on. Sure, things can kind of go south and north and west and all of this other direction, after you do, have the children and get married. Yeah, there's divorce, but let's try to come into the game with some commitments. But if you do not, that's fine. That doesn't mean that you're less than. That doesn't mean that you made a poor decision. That doesn't mean that you have to remain single. That just would mean that right now you are in between your blessings. You're in between your partner and God. If you keep your faith and you keep your head up and you be the best you can be and you pour into yourself, because the more you pour into yourself, the more likely you're going to make yourself available for the correct partner. Okay. A lot of y'all still single because you're focusing on the single aspect, the loneliness aspect, and you're not focusing on, I'm going to take this time to make myself better. Whenever I was single, I had always had a discussion with God, and I was by myself, and I always told God, you know what, if this is what it's going to be, I'm cool because I look good, I got money, I'm fly, I'll be all right, baby. I can buy me some kids, I can buy me a family. I've said this a multitude of times before, but really, even though I was cackling and making jokes, really, I was sitting down and really surrendering to God and letting him know that no matter how it plays out, I know I'm going to have him and I'm going to be okay. So you have to surrender. You got to let him kind of just take the reins and things, If you do want to be in a relationship, a God-fearing, God-foundation relationship, if you want to find your husband married, with children, without them, you really have to surrender, and you really kind of turn things over to God and kind of let him have the reins. And I don't think that most of you guys are doing that. You kind of want to live on the flesh, and you kind of want to be like, well, I'm just going to get cute and go out and I'm going to find somebody. I'm noticing that I'm seeing a lot of things on social media where women are kind of like, I'm not dating, I'm not doing anything. But it's really not coming from a place of surrender and letting God take the reins. It's coming from a place of frustration, a place of anger, and a place of, these men really ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing. But I want you to start coming from a place of surrender. I want you to tell God that, I know that you have the correct partner out there for me. I know that I'm not alone. I know that I have you here with me. I know that I can talk to you. You are holding me. You are gathering me. You are pouring into me. You are making me better. But, okay, all right, I do want to have a partner here. So I'm going to let you take control of that situation. I'm going to let you bring the partner to me that I'm supposed to have. I noticed I was having a talk with one of my sisters the other day, and we were talking just about the whole being single thing and how women are so charged up now. Women are so like, I gotta go out and I gotta be on the scene. And I'm gonna say this, you don't need to be on the scene. I really don't want you to be on the scene. I really don't want you don't need to be outside. I think you feel like you really need to be outside, but you really don't need to be outside. Like, you need to be outside, but you need to purposely be outside, okay? That's what I need for you to do. Purposely being outside, the definition of that is that you are somewhere doing you. You are enjoying life. You're living. You are not outside with the only means to say, I hope a man pull up on me and I hope he talks to me. Or you're not going to a party saying, oh, well, how the men going to be? Is the ends going to be there? Is they going to be? Ends is my new word for the other word. I like it. Ends. You are not going to establishments and you're not saying, I'm just going there to hope I can meet a good man. Is this going to be where the men's going to be at? Are they going to be there? How they going to be looking? Let me make sure I put my best freaking dress on. Let me make sure I have all my body parts out. No. We're purposely outside. So when we're purposely outside, we're outside looking fly. We're classy. We got on our best. Our makeup is done. We eating good. We living good. We just doing us. We are just enjoying everything that's around us. We're smelling the air. We're praying. We're leaving church. We're just doing us. We're purposely outside, because when you're purposely outside, that means that your focus is not on trying to find a man. And that means that you are surrendered and giving it to God. And he's going to bring you who he wants you to be. Now, that's not a guarantee that every time that you purposely outside, you're going to meet who you need to be. See, purposely being outside is also you enjoying life. See, a lot of us are not enjoying life because we are so focused on, I am lonely, I am a single mother, I am by myself, so I can't even enjoy life. So every time you go out, you're hoping, praying, wishing that you're going to find someone. But no, I just want you to enjoy life, baby. I want you to enjoy. I want you to have that faith. I need you to get the mustard seed faith and have it and embrace it and understand that God has a promise for you, that your story is not over, that he is going to give you. If it is in his means and it is in his purpose, he is going to bring it to you. But God made us to be one and two, Adam and Eve, male and female. He didn't make us to be just out here by ourselves. We come in bunches. We're coming twos. So it can happen. But you have to understand that God is going to be the only one that's going to make it happen. And you have to acknowledge that you are truly not alone and that you have him. And you have to acknowledge that you are not a single mother. You are a mother and you have God that's there. And he is your foundation. And your children are your center and your everything. And things will start flowing. I honestly feel like also, too, y'all be looking for men in all the wrong places. I think I've told you this before that, men are other places other than social events. Okay? Men are at 5-star restaurants. Men are at the country club. Men are golfing. Men are playing tennis. Men are at the gym. Men are so many different places, So don't limit yourself to, I'm just going to meet him in my comfort zone. And that's another part of surrendering to God. You can meet him looking raggedy and taggedy, going up the Stairmaster, barely breathing in the gym. But if you have in your mind, I'm not here to meet no man, or I don't look good enough for a man to even acknowledge me, or I'm sweating and I'm funking, of course you're going to block all of the energy, and God going to be like, well, shoot, you don't need to be no man there. That's not, you're not letting me do my thing. So no, you're not going to meet no man. So you have to have this open mind. You have to just kind of let things flow. It's important that you let things flow. It's important that you kind of don't let things flow, that you don't try to control the flow, but you let things flow in the godly way, and that you understand you can meet and connect with anybody anywhere. Okay. But the number one thing that's going to keep blocking you is if you keep having this mindset that I'm lonely, I'm all by myself, that there's nobody here with me, that I have to find some type of companionship in between time, that I need to be laid up with somebody, that I need to be talking to somebody. And that's really you not being secure in yourself. And that's another thing, that self-esteem falls into that too. You got to have some self-love for yourself. And the self-love that I'm talking about is the self-love that God made you who you are. And the self-love that God valued you so much as a person, that he poured all these skills and this beauty, and his characteristics and his personality into you, and you appreciated the good and the bad. That's really what it's about. I feel like a lot of times when we're chasing these relationships, when we want to have somebody around us, we're really not truly comfortable and secure with ourselves. So you need somebody around you to be selling you these fake dreams, or to be gassing you up, or to make you feel good, or you to feel secure. But really, you got to be secure in yourself. You got to love yourself. You got to value yourself. And a lot of times valuing yourself is not keep entangling yourself in these raggedy relationships with these people who really don't value you. And a lot of times you be needing to heal. And you can't heal because you keep getting into stuff so that you can heal. But you gotta heal individually before you meet somebody. Have you ever seen two people that are both unhealed people, and it's such a toxic situation? They constantly fighting, they constantly going through things, they constantly trying to involve you in things, you're trying to be a friend. And I notice this to a lot of my super extremely Christian friends who are just just growing and loving in God. They tend to have those friends that are in toxic situations, and they kind of feel I can kind of help her get out of it. I can pray her out of it, or you could kind of just hand it over to the Lord. No. A lot of times you're not healed. So as much as you're going to hand it over to the Lord is also kind of exited from the scene too. Surrendering to God is kind of also understanding when you're in a situation that's not healthy, Also, if you're a friend and you're an outsider of this, you're vocally telling this person, this really is not healthy. And, I think that most people think when a situation isn't healthy, that it could be healthy later on down the road. But just right now, this is a control or delete situation. Okay. You need to get out of this. Don't find yourself keep getting in situations and you're ignoring the healing, and you just happen to situation because you just need somebody around you to make you feel good. You just need the warmth of some skin and all of this other stuff, giving your goodies and snacks away, and that's all this other stuff that we don't need to be doing. You don't need to be doing. You really got to take some time to heal. Um, and I can't really put a time limit on healing because, like, I've had times where I've healed quickly and I've had times when I have not healed quickly and I have gotten into toxic relationships. And I knew I shouldn't have gotten in that relationships. Like, I should have kept it just like a little entanglement type of situation. This is all pre-married. A little entanglement situation. But, a lot of times when you're not healed, it's easier for people to kind of slip through the cracks. And it's easier for you to kind of get into situations because you're not healed and you so broken, and this person is giving you this false feeling of, of stability and whatever else it may be. And you're looking in the wrong directions. You're not looking in the direction of God. You're looking in the direction of this person to give you all of the things and in the areas that you're lacking. So it's important. So I just want you to keep the faith and stay strong and stay on the right path and continue to involve God as much as you can in everything that you're doing. And just continue to understand that, it's going to be on his time, and that patience is a virtue. I think the patience is a virtue thing is something I really it's not my tea. I'm really not a big fan of hearing that on a regular basis because, first of all, I'm working on my patience. I'm going to be honest with you. It's just not the best. I need things now. I come from the microwave generation where it's instant. It's like, let's get it started. And God is kind of like, that's not how it works. I think the number one issue that I'm having right now, is, just us, me and my husband with children. We are so ready to have children. And it's like, we aren't going through this traumatic situation with trying to have them. We're naturally trying to produce them. And we really kind of just got into the groove of producing them since the miscarriage. But we're kind of like, let's get this party started. And I think the reason that I'm kind of like, let's get this party started is because I am, older. Not that older, but I'm older, very much older. But like, we're not going to get into the older, but I'm older. And, my husband is a young tender. And I'm just kind of like, it's always been pushed into women, into our minds, that after you get a certain age that it becomes more difficult. We don't use harder. It becomes more difficult for you to have children. And I think that has given me anxiety, and it made me be like, let's get this party started. But the thing about it is that you have to realize that God does things on his own accord, and that worldly limitations and guidelines do not apply to him. And that's what I constantly have to keep telling myself. Like, you cannot sit up here and let what a medical book or what medical professions have said influence what God has done, and his faith and his favor and his miracles and how he works. And you can't let that affect your faith and just your believing. And I think that goes for the whole single, lonely, I need a spouse thing. There's no time limit on how God is going to work it out. There's no time limit on when he's going to be like, okay, well, you need to have a spouse. Boom, there go a husband. Boom, there go a wife. It's no time limit on it. You have to understand that it can happen today, tomorrow, 3 years, 4 years. But when it happens, you're going to be so happy and so grateful to God that it happens. You're going to forget all those years that you didn't have it. If you think about it, if you really look back on how God has worked in your life and how he has made things happen, okay, you never remember when things were not happening. Let's say you were waiting for a particular, you were a child, let's take it to being an adult. Let's say you were waiting to get into a college. You applied for this college. You sent out the application. You did everything you need to do. Boom, you get your acceptance letter. After you get your acceptance letter, you never thought back like, dang, all them weeks, all them months that I went through it waiting. Ooh, that really took me through it. That doesn't steal your current joy of the moment. That honestly makes that moment more joyful because you're thinking about all the trials and tribulations you went through to get there. So it's going to be more joyful when you find your partner. You're not going to think back to all of this time when you were by yourself, or so-called by yourself, or when you were working on yourself and it was just you and God. You're going to be grateful that you had that time with you and God, because you grew in that time. You were better in that time. You established yourself in that time. But you're not going to look back and be like, oh my God, I was like, I didn't have nobody for 4 years, God. How dare you give me him now? Like, oh, no. You're not going to look like that. You're not going to be at the wedding and be like, well, I didn't have him for 4 years. So I just want to remind the Lord it was 4 long years. Like, nobody is going to do that. So that's what keeps me going. That's what I want for you to keep going, is that you're going to have so much joy when you make it there. When you have any achievement, when God works anything out for you that you've been praying for, you're going to be so grateful that you made it, that you have it. You're going to have so much gratitude in your spirit that you're not going to even think about to the time that you didn't have it. I can't remember the time that I like the past when I was like without my husband. I really don't remember. No shade, but I really don't remember. I don't remember something. I really don't remember those relationships. Like, I know I was in them. I'm sure y'all remember I was in them. Boop. But the people do. But I don't really remember them. Because it's like, I don't know. Before the pandemic, I really don't remember nothing but before that. I feel like it's a whole new life that I have now, that I've had in these last 2, almost 3 years. And it's a great life. But I feel like the life was God driven. So that's why I'm not acknowledging any of that happened before. Like, sure, God was involved in it, but I know for sure that God has his hands on this. Like, I know he literally up there like, all right, go ahead and do that, girl. All right, boom, there you go. You like that surprise? I know he's literally right there, the architect truly of it all, because I'm surrendering and I'm letting him have that guidance. I'm letting him take me through that. I'm not trying to control it. Even though I have moments where I am trying to control the outside the box, I am acknowledging that I am not alone. He is here with me. Okay, that he is in control, that I give him all the control, and that every time I give him the control and I do not go ahead of him, but I let him lead me, that he leads me into pastures, okay, and greatness, and victory, and peace, and tranquility. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't remember that stuff. I don't. And I think I had a discussion with my husband like a couple months ago. We was talking about before the pandemic, because we met before the pandemic and we were talking about our first trip to LA, and we were like kind of trying to go over a storyline about it, and we was like, I don't remember. Like, it was getting very crunchy. Like, it wasn't going where it was supposed to go, and we weren't getting what we were supposed to get from it. And I just realized, just how much of that life is just not my life anymore. We're not those people anymore. We've grown so much. And I know so many have so much negative to say about the pandemic because there was so much death and so much loss. And it was not something that I want to relive over again, but so much life and so much love and so much productivity came from out of that. And we had a hard stop, and we really realized how important God was and how he was in control of everything. If you think that the government was in control of that, it was God. This is all God. He is showing us and trying to get you to understand that you have to turn your mind back around and come back to him. You have to leave from the flesh and you have to really go to the spirit and understand that he is God and that he is in control. So, once you really realize that, you will know that God is never going to have you feeling less than or lonely or without. He's always going to be a provider. He's always going to provide. So you're going to have somebody. You're going to find the person you need, but you just have to work on you, and you just have to work on that relationship with him. And you have to start giving yourself the title that you are not with self, but you are better, and you are with God, and you are going to be with the partner, or you're going to be here, you're going to be there. Start speaking that life into yourself. Start speaking yourself into those situations. I don't think a lot of you speak yourself into situations. I'm just going to be honest. I don't think y'all do. Because I be seeing how y'all be posting online. I be checking y'all all the time. Like, why are you saying that? Like, your tongue is so powerful. The things that you say will come into fruition. Like, don't think they're not. So if you saying something crazy, don't be crazy. Don't be worried if something crazy happens. You have to speak life and love and positivity over your life. You have to speak God and faith over your life. You can't just keep thinking that you're going to say these negative things. Like I told you before, we have a discussion about this all the time about saying I can't afford. Like, you never say I can't afford. You always say I'm in between blessings. You always say that I don't have it now, but I will have it. If it's meant to be, it shall be. But you never say I am broke. Or you never say, I'm a single mom. You're not a single mother. You are a mother. You have God. He's guiding you. You have a partner that's there, that's waiting for you. He is going to come. He's on his way. He's spinning the block. But you need to start speaking some life and some love over yourself. You need to start realizing you are not alone. You are not an individual. You are an entity, and God is an entity, and you guys are together, and you're making it do what it do. And that once you start doing that, you're going to have so much more peace and understanding in your life. And I want you to have that peace. That peace is lit. That is a litest peace, to know that you have God. Like, I have peace in who I am as a woman. I know that if, God forbid, if things don't go the way that I want them in a relationship or life, I still have God. If everything is taken from me, I still have God. I still have somebody that I could turn to that's going to be like, come on, baby, give me a hug. It's all right. And you have other entities on this planet that you can get that from, your parents, your mother, your friends. But when all that fails, you have to remember, as long as you got King Jesus, y'all know that's my favorite song. Okay. I don't need nobody else, period. And that's just kind of, that's a classic. That's a song that we love, but it's really the truth. As long as you have him, you don't have anybody else, and you will be just fine. You don't need to be feeling that you are less than or you're lacking in any area, because you will be just fine. You are not alone. You have our Father God. You are not a single mother. You have a wonderful God that is helping you. He is pushing you when things don't seem like, and you don't know how they're going to get played out. He is playing them out for you in your favor, always and forever. Okay. And I want you to instill that in your children. I want you to always let your children know that even when you're not there in the flesh, that they have God. That was something my mother did before we go, that she pushed into me. So when I would have times like, when I would be by myself and I would be like kind of nervous, I will always, even when I didn't really understand the relationship or understand God, I do the turn to God. You know that, let me pray. Or that this is not right. God is watching me. You have to, and a lot of that is not getting taught. We're not teaching our children, to have that fear of God, to know he's watching and he's seeing everything. And that's the reason why children are making the decisions they're making. You need to put the fear of God in them a little bit as well too. Let them know he's watching, as well as he's there for you. And the good times, he's also watching you when you're making poor decisions. So try to limit the poor decisions that you're making. It's all about understanding that there are entities that are there that we cannot see or touch, but they are there. And you have to find a way that explain that to yourself. Some people need to get that explained, but I'll tell you, if you're an adult, the Bible will explain it to you just as much as you need. But if you're explaining this to your children, you need to start introducing them to Bible stories, introducing them to, church and visually seeing it, going into the sanctuary, so they can kind of understand it a little bit more. But just before we go, you're not alone. You have him. He's there. You'll be just fine. You're great. You're doing wonderful, sweetie. And that's it. That's it. Woo! That was a great word. So I just want to say that I think my camera went off in the middle of me filming the podcast. I had to get up and check it and see. I'm in my feelings about it, but I'm going to make it do what it do. But as far as our audio kept the party going. We kept the party going with the audio, but I'm just so grateful and highly favored that you are here, that you are joining me, that we are back with Serving While Being Served. Y'all see this beautiful artwork back here? My husband did that. Woo! My husband made the beautiful artwork. It still smells a little bit like paint in here, but he did it for me. And I am the host with the most. I am Nurse Monroe. I look really cute today. I have on this really, really fly green shirt that was from my Surf Couture collection that eventually will come back when God says fit. He will. But just a little bit of maintenance that we always like to do. If you are not a part of my Instagram family, please make sure you make your way over there. It is Nurse_Monroe. Also, we are here. I am the host with the most, also for Housewife Sundays. I'm the housewife, and I'll be bringing it to y'all on Sundays. Also, I want you to have a wonderful Easter. I'm sending lots of love and prayers. And stay in a wonderful place. Get outside, enjoy the weather, enjoy it with your children. And I look forward to us coming back for another episode next week. And I love you guys. I just do. I really do. I'm grateful. I'm just excited to be back and to be actually filming this all. And I will see you guys next week. And I love you. Bye.